Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jesse, this is the Auditorium, I react to video game music for the first time, and today is the return already of Persona, Ibunroku Persona, Megami Ibunroku Persona, aka Persona 1. This was a kind of late edition. I accidentally made an error on the recent video for Persona. Long story short, that was a random draw, and I forgot to add like a second song with it. So we get a bonus 2 songs, actually 3 songs here. And that's going to be... It says Dungeon SEBEC Above Ground from the channel PSC. Actually, these are all from PSC. And then we have Normal Battle and Battle Arranged. Cool. These are requested by Alkaline Clockwork and Kalinin. Thank you very much. And these are, well, I don't know about all of them, but at least the first one is composed by Hidehiro Aoki, who I just found out in the last video passed away in 2002. I don't know much about him, but apparently he was, you know, early on in the Persona series, so I don't know if the other composers like took over, and you know, like if we would have got a different sound. I never knew this side of Persona, so I didn't want to look too much into it. I'll let you guys tell me, but let me know if like Shoji was kind of just like a replacement or something. I don't know, it seems kind of bizarre to think about. But anyways, this is Dungeon SEBEC Above Ground. And let's get into it. I'm gonna look at some of the comments for that other video I did, which was just a couple of days ago. But I'm listening. Yeah, the feeling of the first Persona is so different. It seems like more house music. Sounds like something I would find in Castlevania as well. Ooh, I like this progression. Where's it going? Back and forth? Back down? Now what? Now what? Up? So cool though. It's memorable. Something like this gets stuck in your head. So 4 days ago, I heard that. I have them ready. I'll just read them later. Sounds like something you would hear in maybe one of those like rhythm dancing games like EDR or something, you know? Above ground. Does that just mean literally like street level? Oh, it sounds so 90s with the claps. Whoa. Ambience. I would never guess this is Persona at all. But then again, like I said, I started pretty much from the newest, working my way downwards. It sounds very... I think I know this, but I don't at the moment. I feel like I know this. But it sounds very PS1 to me. Like a lot of, I feel like a lot of soundtracks sounded like this in PS1. I'll find out in a second. I wish I could remember everything that was ever told to me, or that I've ever looked up, but that's impossible now with so many people commenting, so many people to look after. Like for example, I play the Legend. I used to play the. I've been talking about the Legend of Dragoon for the past year or so, and this sounds a little bit like a battle theme during that. And that was like 1998, 99. This is just a dungeon though. And then that sounds really mid-90s. Very Capcom. Choose your fighter. I like the claps, just randomly. Oh, and then there's the PSP version. I do remember that. That I remember. Which might have like fixed all the issues or something. Let's look that up in the meantime. Megami Ibunroku. Oh, Shoji Meguro was already here. I just looked it up. Oh, okay, so disregard that. There's 4 composers here. 1996. Okay, yeah, I remember that now. This is just a couple of days ago. 1996 in Japan. Dude, honestly, yeah, this is like the music I grew up with. You know, like I definitely played the PS1. Like that was one of my most played consoles. So this sounds nostalgic in some kind of weird way. I'm guessing SEBEC is probably an acronym for something, like a facility or an organization. It's all capitalized. You can see it here in the thumbnail. My eye is itching like crazy. Dude, that sounds good. Okay, so disregard what I said earlier about Shoji Meguro like replacing. I just didn't know until right now that Hidehiro Aoki wasn't the sole composer, but maybe one of the most prolific in the first game. Who knows? And potentially could have been still in Persona games if they were still around. So yeah, it's not often. Like I said, I don't really look stuff up. Look at the comments. I like the comments to tell me things for this kind of reason. You know, like the people that grew up with the games that know a lot. Like and no offense in any way, but like the hardcore nerds that know about this stuff. I'm a nerd too. It's just I can't retain any of the information anymore. But I've also always been a fan of like those fun facts, those little like knickknacks and things that you just know, and you know. So by all means, keep doing that. But it kind of brings this thing that made me think recently is I wonder how many composers I've had here that have passed away, or you know what I mean, like I don't really think about that kind of stuff, you know. No one really thinks about death, but the only thing I know about composers since this channel started is just some names that I recognize every now and then if it's like in the description of the video or someone leaves a note. Actually, let me see if this left a note. I'm not sure. I'm gonna move this over here. Did this leave a note? No. Oh, wait. Nope. Wait, did it? Sorry. What am I looking for? Above ground. Give me a second. Just want to make sure. No. No note. So before I get to the song, I do want to like just continue with what I was saying. I didn't really research anyone. I just seen some names appear. I start to recognize names like Nobuo Uematsu, Keiichi Okabe, Yuzo Koshiro. I started to notice like their names in multiple projects and multiple songs that I've done. I'm like, damn, okay, these guys are like, you know, they've been around. And even less than that, I can sometimes recognize maybe singers' voices. You know what I mean? Like I don't always like check the credits of everything. So what just to give you an idea, like when I started with Persona, and my idea of Persona is Shoji Meguro, right? That's the kind of funky jazz fusion sound, but also I've heard him in Catherine, and I've used one of the Catherine theme songs as background music. since I heard that song. It's a golden show. I love that song. So I'm aware of his prowess too, but I don't know what else Mr. Aoki has done. But then I got to thinking, like, damn, who else has passed away that I've done here? You know, like it kind of makes you. I mean, to me, to go a little beyond the just a reaction thing, it's kind of special. It's kind of the same way I view photographs and video, right? They're like our closest thing that we have to a time machine. Same with music, because we can go back and hear it whenever we want and see it whenever we want. So it's kind of beautiful to think about someone's compositions and music that they wrote, and they're not here anymore. You know, we could still like that. I know it sounds kind of like cliche to say that, but I mean, if you really think about it, if you've ever, you know, lost someone in your family or a friend or anything, even a pet, just the idea of reliving their work or their art or their vision or something, that's pretty special. You know, it brings a whole new light to me every time I hear Persona 1 now, you know, because now I can think of, you know, wow, they're gone too soon and I don't know what happened. And not that matters, that's irrelevant. It's just, it kind of makes you think, you know. Oh, actually, speaking of Legend of Dragoon, wow, that's actually kind of weird coincidence. One of the composers in that game has passed away too. So I do know 2 games. Whoa. Interesting. So, and that game also had more than one composer. That one had 2. Damn. And the music that I was comparing him to was the one who passed away. Damn. Ooh. That was freaky. Okay. But anyways, so it's really interesting how, like, this video wasn't supposed to be here. It was a mistake. It was supposed to be added into the other video I'm talking about right now, because I do 2 videos per, or 2 songs per video, but I forgot because it was a random draw, so it was still kind of new to me. So, but now that I've heard a little bit of the first Persona, it really does sound totally different. Totally has its own thing going on. Has more of a house dance kind of thing. They seem to have kept the whole flavor of the game, of the groove and moving around and kind of making you just like, yeah, you know, they kind of kept that going. And I know I've heard some of the PSP stuff as well, but I still don't know much about this game. Like I know close to nothing. Still, I just get whatever information from you guys in the comments. And speaking of the comments, I'm going to read some of these. I don't know which one I'm going to read. I just want to see, because there's not that many. And then we'll talk about this song. And then we can hear the other ones. Oh. Well, the actual #1 comment is how they passed away. Car accident many years ago, but it was a massive change to the formula for Megami Tensei games. Without Aoki, there's no Ryota Kazuka soundscapes for SMT 4 and 5. Aoki's work on this game and the Majin Tensei duology is ethereal, alien, and absorbing. Damn. See, that's why I like. This is why, like, I'm not trying to like engage comments or try to farm engagements. It's just because some people ask all the time, like, how have you been doing this? And you know, you don't look stuff up. For me, it keeps the reactions as fresh as possible. The less I know, the better. You know, people always want me to have context or like a video playing here. In a way, to be totally honest, like, yeah, sometimes I can work and enhance it, but at the same time, it removes a little bit of the guessability, some of the mystery, the mystique. You know, I just really want to pay attention to the music. I don't want to be distracted. Because to me, having the video of something, while cool, at that point, I'd rather just play the game and experience it in the game, controlling it and moving it. Seeing a video is a little bit more of a tease. Anyways, we're going to ramble about this video. So that was from Kieran Ray. Hidehito Yoki's a legend. SMT Persona music would not be the same without his influence. R.I.P. Let me see. Oh, here we go. There's only like 20 comments, so I'm just gonna kind of like browse through them. Interestingly, the PSP remake has completely different music. They tried to make it more in line with modern Persona and kind of kill the unique atmosphere this OST has, on top of having less than half as many tracks. Whoa. I'm reading like the top comments. In terms of the Revelation subtitle, they used this for both Megami Ibunroku Megami Tensei spin-off games they brought to NA and EU up until the PS2 era. There's also Revelations, the Demon Slayer, which in Japan is Megami Ibunroku Last Bible. Man, it's so hard to keep up with Persona titles. Megami Ibunroku means something like alternative history of the goddess. Oh. Today I learned. And basically denotes it's an alternative scenario from Shin Megami Tensei. Fun Japanese fact for the hell of it, the first character, Japanese letter, in Ibunroku is the same as the I in Isekai, alternate world. See, this is what I mean, like you guys just bring all these like fun facts I would never ever know. Anything else? I should do this more often, but there's so many, like there's so many cool comments that I get all the damn time. But then I would make these videos like so long, and I'm not trying to like provide filler here. It's just pretty relevant, you know? And it'll probably help me remember stuff sometimes. Again, I'm reading from the last Persona video, the Kama Palace video. Okay. Now about the song. I'm not gonna always do that, by the way. It's just kind of spontaneous. Everything's spontaneous around here. That song felt very nostalgic to me, even though I never played it, you know? Just because of the sound. That's why I re-looked up the year it came out. And yeah, you know, the consoles that I grew up with, just like a tiny brief history, a lot of people know this now, but in case you didn't know, my first was a Sega Genesis. It wasn't mine, I just had access to one. The first console that I ever had was PlayStation 1, and that I played, I don't know if I played that the most, maybe the PS2 I played the most, I don't know. But I definitely played the PlayStation 1 a lot. And that was when I was very, you know, young and impressionable, so a lot of those sounds really stuck in my head, including sounds like this. And then the Game Boy Color, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. Anything else? PC, I guess? I had a PSP for like 3 months, and I regret selling it. That's about it. Yeah. So, anyways, the PS1, Sony era, late 90s, I have that sound. I played a lot of demos. I played a lot of, you know, just that era of me growing up. This sounds like that, you know, like that late 90s sound where stuff was getting into like the Matrix and the Y2K sounds and this like technological era, and you know, it just has this, I don't know, just this really nice aesthetic to it that it's so weird, you know, now that it's been 24 years or something since that era, the millennium, when everything was like labeled 2000 or something like that, that now we can like look back upon it like pretty much how I imagined the 80s, which was 20 years prior. Now it's 40 years prior. God. So now this era is also now something that could be looked upon the same way, which is so bizarre to me. We're getting old, guys. But this is really cool. Even though it says dungeon above ground, to me it really had a sort of a boss feel. But then again, who knows? I think Persona definitely seems to push the limit on dungeon-esque sounds and what you hear during those dungeons. I've heard like some straight up dance, jazz during some dungeon stuff, so very cool. And nostalgic, even though I haven't played it. This is, speaking of battles, this is the battle theme. This is normal battle. It's much shorter. This is a different composer, Kenichi Tsuchiya. Let's do it. Normal battle. Guessing you're gonna hear this all the time. Just think, a couple years prior, in the 16-bit era, where everything sounded not like this, you know? Like the CD quality jump is so massive. Well, it sounds kind of like Mortal Kombat-ish a little bit. Again, from the mid-90s. Ooh. That's sick. Mortal Kombat! Oh, I feel like watching that movie again. Not the second one. Oh, I don't have water. What? I did. There's a little bit of variety in Persona 1 with all the composers. Goes up. That's cool. That sounds like Daft Punk. Another up-and-coming group in the 90s. Dude. Original Persona kind of slaps. That's the normal value. Ah, that ending right there, is that like representative of how fights end? You know, you know how like Final Fantasy has the fanfare, da, 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 and then the like results screen. Is that what that was right there? I figured that was just gonna keep looping until the end since it was a normal battle. Interesting, interesting. Or does it just, you know, the battle's over and then it just fades into nothing? Wow. I mean, it's not a bad thing that I keep like mentioning how much it is from that era, because it really is. It's not a meme or anything. It really does sound like it's from 1996. You know, it has such a stamp of a sound. Like every time I hear those big orchestral stabs, I always think of the Mortal Kombat movie, or the like Mortal Kombat 3 had a lot of that kind of stuff. I just think of what music you would hear like going through a mall at that time, arcades at that time, movies, you know, very actiony kind of movie. Like it's just a sound that's kind of toned down. I don't know if you really hear that anymore. And I wonder where that came from, to be honest. Like I wonder who's the first either musical artist or game to feature some sort of like big orchestral thing like that, because the first thing that immediately came to mind was the Mortal Kombat theme that everyone knows, which is who's that? The song is actually called Techno Syndrome, by the way. I didn't know that until much later in my life. I forgot the artist. I want to say the Immortals. I could be wrong about that, but it's Techno Syndrome. Dun 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 da da da. That's really cool, dude. Yeah, Persona 1. I'm just gonna call it Persona 1. Just to make things easier, because I'm already like struggling with keeping up with all the Persona spin-offs and Japanese releases, English releases, and like I know 4. I remember I asked once about 4's spin-offs, and someone left a comment at least this big, like in real text, of just all Persona 4 spin-offs. And there's 5 ones. I just did a Persona 5 song that I never even heard about. It was I don't even know, but it was very recent, very recent. Like from this video, maybe like a week or 2 back. And I thought I did all the Persona 5 games, but apparently not. I kind of want to go straight into the next one because it's arranged. But yeah, this one just gave me a I don't know. I think the feeling of Persona 1 is so unique to the rest of them. So while I'm comparing it to that era of time, I'm really just comparing it mostly to the other 4 games. And now at this point, the one that's the most foreign to me is 2. 3, I kind of know what it sounds like. 4, I know what it sounds like. 5, I know what it sounds like. 1, getting an idea of this sort of electronic thing, but it's really cool. 2, I now have officially, I'm pretty sure, heard the least, and I don't even remember what it sounds like. I think it has some rock elements. This is the same song, but arranged. Let's go. Choose your fighter. Or is it, sorry, choose your destiny. I have the perfect song to recommend for you guys. It's one of my favorite songs. And that's not a joke. It reminds me of this. It's very relevant to what I've been talking about this whole time. It seems like Persona 1... Hold on. So it seems like Persona 1 retains some of that darkness from the Shin Megami, or the Megami, whatever. I know Shin Megami Tensei is the darker one, and I'm guessing which came first, but this looks pretty dark, and it sounds dark. And it didn't seem to lighten up until maybe 3. Damn. So considering it's the same chord progression and melodies as the other one, I'm guessing this plays much later in the game. But that's cool. I like the variance on it. So era defining. I hear this stuff and I'm instantly transported to being like in 2nd or 3rd grade, 4th grade, you know, still riding bikes to and from school. Closest thing we have to a time machine, so it's like, I'm thinking about that. The older I get, the more I start to pay attention to stuff like that, and it's tripping me out. Another outro. That one sounded weird. It sounded like a explosion of like a liquid substance or something. Yeah, dude, like I don't want to dive too much into this because I think this is like a huge rabbit hole, but just try to like, this is what I'm thinking right now, and it's totally random, but it's songs like this make me think this kind of stuff. I'll keep it as brief as possible. And it's a weird thought that I keep having more and more the older I get. But sometimes I wonder, you know, like we wake up and we have all this stuff available to us, all this computer technology and all that. I'll make this short, I promise. And I always think about, you know, like where we as humanity came from with like dirt, water, maybe trees. Well, yeah, dirt, water, trees, rocks, wood, air. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and then everything we've developed since then, and then figuring out electricity and all that. It just almost seems in a way like we weren't meant to like figure out a way to capture a moment in time. I don't know if that makes any sense. And that's not to like discredit like the human brain. Obviously, we've come a long way, but you know, like the idea of hearing something or seeing something through a photograph or reliving it through a video, whatever, like just going back into the past in some capacity besides memories seems so bizarre to me. And honestly, even though like we might brush it off like, yeah, it sounds like the mid 90s, like think about that for a second. I feel like well, I don't feel like this. It just feels like we shouldn't have been able to like feel this or hear this again. It already happened. It was there when it happened. But luckily, thankfully, we can. And hear it for the first time. So like it's kind of really blowing my mind. And it's just really trippy, man. Because I hear this, and like I said, I'm immediately put back into being a kid, hearing that sound, like such a sound of, you know, when I grew up, and a lot of people grew up. You instantly start to remember like the theater popcorn. You start to remember toys and all that, Toys R Us, whatever the case may be, whatever. And that's so bizarre. I think we don't think about that enough. We're just kind of accepted what we have because it's normal. But I don't know, like it really just trips me out when I think about it. Like, oh yeah, we're listening to something from 1996, and I feel like the only people that previously, before the internet, had access to this was the people that just played it. They had their money and bought this game at that time, or their parents bought it for them, and that's it. Story's over. But no, like we can still, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm sounding like a hippie or a drug addict, but pretty crazy when you think about it. So all that stuff really trips me out. Photos, videos, music, just literal time machines that we have. We may not be able to physically go back, but kinda. Anyways, that wasn't too long. But songs like this really do get me to think like that because it just has that feel. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this song. It's obviously, you know, this intense motion of a song. It's a battle. I do like that there's variances. I'm a big fan of when there's variety of the same song in different places. So it makes you kind of wonder where that could be. Well, for me, it makes me wonder because I didn't play it. So I would have to imagine like maybe later on in some darker area, some stronger area. But if you're playing it and going through the game, I can see that being really cool because say you like the original one and you're just like, oh, that's really awesome. And then you play it later and you're like, oh, here it is again, but in a cooler way or a different way. That's awesome. You know, that's really awesome. So it's the closest I can get to experiencing that. Man, this channel's weird. You guys grew up with the games. You guys play these games. I can only guess what happens, and I can only just hear, like, it's such a weird thing. I mean, I know reactionary content is kind of, it's come and gone and then come back, and so many ways to go about it. But if you really think about it, and I'm not going to get into this tangent at all, but it really is something bizarre to see someone hear something or experience something for the first time. It's like another window through time. Damn, dude. Is that ironic that this tagline is "Be your true mind"? Well, that's my reaction. That's the way Jesse reacts. I think about everything. I just give everything its time and day, you know. I don't want to just press play and move on. If I'm gonna yap about it, I'm gonna yap about it. You know, I give my undivided attention to these songs as much as I can. I'm not gonna always catch everything. And although no one's really ever complained about anything I'm saying here, it just feels to me that like I should be following a certain rule set. Like, that song was really cool. Thank you for sharing. No, like I'm telling you what it did. It entered my brain and immediately fired off all these memories and how we're these two-legged creatures and somehow are here. And you're watching me through the screen, wherever you are in the world. You may not even be speaking my language, but know that you are understanding that I like the song based on my face. This is so weird. Okay. Thank you, Alkaline, Clockwork, and Kalanin for that. Let me know even more about Megami Ibunroku Persona. Just bear in mind, when I read the comment, I'll remember it there and there, but I'm probably going to forget about it as soon as I move on to the next video, because each video is its own like little planet, and I just have to keep on traversing it. Great soundtrack. Rest in peace to Mr. Aoki. Really sad. And yeah, well, that's another thing I talked about too. We can hear someone's music that's no longer here. Oh man, Persona just made me go through my own little crisis. Okay, thank you to all my patrons. As you see here, I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching and listening to my ramble. My name is Jesse. Video game music rules. Peace.